tonight, nobody can say they have a one-ball game. Both of the teams know that, and they'll still be in there fighting. It promises to be a very exciting wind-up, unless one team can really pour on the points and pull away. But the way it's going, you know, the other team just doesn't want to give up. No matter whoever takes a good 5-7 point lead, the other team just keeps on coming back.
But I'm sure you'll agree with me, Dr. J, that he never will have to find an antidote for NCC's workhorse by the name of Jeffrey Moore, who's already got 22 points, and he certainly exploded in that third quarter, scoring a dozen points in the stretch of 12 minutes.
What they're really trying to do is try to commit Jeff to get his fifth foul, because he already has 4 personal fouls. But Jeff isn't really biting at this point, you know. If they can set up Saldana against Jeffrey Moore, that could be possible, you know, by getting some screens for Saldana to go up against Moore. Moore on a fadeaway shot, 24 points now for Jeffrey.
24 points for the guy who may be acting crazy like a fox. 76-68, back to an 8-point advantage for NCC. We're 20 seconds into the fourth and final quarter. Jaworski against Samboy Lim. Here's Terry Saldana. He's been shining tonight.
Yes, he's been playing very well. He was isolated in that play through very good ball movement and people coming up with screens. Isolated against Dignadice. Got the foul from Eves. Will take 2 from the 15-foot line.
These are extremely important charities, especially in the light of the fact that points are extremely hard to come by in this ball game for both clubs.
Yes. Tonight will be probably an all-time low for Ginebra San Miguel here in the conference. They have 69 points right now compared to 76 for Northern.
76-69 is the exact tally. As Andrew J. pointed out, it could be 76-70, and it is.
It is. 30 seconds gone by here in the fourth quarter.
One team foul for NCC against a clean slate for Ginebra San Miguel. Heckalma against Francis Arnaiz. Terrific matchup right there.
Violation called against Heckalma.
There must have been a wet spot where Hector slipped.
And there you can see the mop man doing his thing. Sonny going to Michael Hackett, almost a little bit too long.
And here's Hackett looking for a cutter. Goes back to Jaworski. The Big J makes his move off Samboy Lim. It was a decoy play for Francis, but he's quickly picked up by Hector Calma. Ricky Rosa puts it up. 18-footer is out. Sonny Jaworski joining the hustle for the offensive rebound, and here's Michael Hackett. He gets fouled.
Fouled by Samboy Lim. He's all right.
Oh, this guy can take his licks. In slow-mo, you can see what happened exactly there.
He's taking his rest also after playing 36 straight minutes now, and this is tough basketball.
It is. You have to be tough as nails to survive this kind of a basketball game. 1 minute and 3 seconds gone by in the fourth period. Still a 6-point lead for NCC. Michael Hackett has already accounted for 29 points. Certainly a big improvement over his rather paltry 26-point output in their last outing against NCC.
That's right.
Michael Hackett. Kingoy Pengson loves to refer to his cherubic phase as very reminiscent of Gary Coleman of different strokes. But that's right.
Oh, and he misses his first free throw.
The brown bomber just bummed out. Even the pressure is exacting its toll on this young man. By the way, this coming November, 15 Vintage Enterprises will treat you to a double dynamite featuring 2 of the year's most explosive confrontations. I already told you about that. Marvelous Marvin Hagler taking on the unbeaten knockout artist,
John Mugabe.
And of course, comedy Hitman Hearst will also figure in the supporting main event, and he will be taking on another unbeaten contender, and that's James Schuler, and we just saw a foul by Heck Kalma.
Sonny Jaworski coming out to help from the weak side was able to stop Kalma from getting a layup and eventually stealing the ball away from him, plus getting a foul too.
Just a 5-point lead now for NCC. Francis getting his cue from the Big J. Isolated against Samboy Lim. Now Heck Kalma picks up Francis Arnaiz. Oh, that pass intended for Sonny Jaworski. Jeffrey Moore galloping down court. He goes up. That's a rather questionable call. Did Sonny even lift a finger?
Oh, and there's debris again on the floor because of that call. Let's see if it's a valid call.
Here it is in slow-mo. Well, in all fairness to the referees, they are only human, and they could have erred in that particular sequence.
And I think they erred.
And we're having a rain of debris and all kinds of missiles storming here at the ultra hardcourt. We'll return after these words. After the Ginebra fans went up in arms over what they felt was a very questionable call on the part of Mr. Ledesma, calling a foul on Sonny Jaworski on that drive by Jeffrey Moore. Well, we too feel that he may have erred, but then, of course, referees are only human, and there certainly was no intention of the part of the referee to favor one team over the other. And these errors are bound to occur, and as long as they are not malicious and intentional, they couldn't really do that much damage. Anyway, it was a very fine gesture on the part of Sonny Jaworski to wave a rather gesture to the fans. He himself placated the crowd, asked them to come down, please cool down, and let's get the game underway.
It has been a very beautiful ball game, Joe. You know, both of the teams really showing a lot of fighting spirit in this game, wanting to win the match. Even Michael Hackett was parading around there, trying to pick up the coins. And you know what he told us, Joe? I need some luck. Maybe these coins might bring me some luck. I need some help here.
Who knows? That could be some luck. Well, certainly it's a big piece of luck to the maintenance man who is picking up all the coins right now on the floor. It's going to take them a little bit of time to clear all the debris from the floor. And technical assistant Narciso Bernardo is supervising the cleanup operations here. Right now, the score stands at 76-71, a 5-point lead for NCC with 10 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the ball game. Plenty of action ahead of us. Also, would like to mention that these three gentlemen officiating this contest, Messrs. Ledesma, Gamad, and Dr. Ding Cruz, are three of the best referees the PBA has ever had. They are among the most competent, and they are the ones asked to officiate the most crucial contests. But right, even they too can fall to human error.
Well, that's why sometimes it's so difficult to call these crucial games, because slight miscalculation in judgment gets the people up in arms, you know, and they're trying to call it as best as possible.
That's right. In the NBA, I've seen worse calls made by referees inadvertently.
Well, Joe, since we have some lag time, we'd like to take a look at the scores. Hackett leads Ginebra with 30 points, followed only by 8 points by Francis and Saldana. He needs a lot more local help. 2 or 3 guys in double figures, and they had a good chance at winning here. While the Northern Consolidated squad, Moore has 24, followed by 3 guys with 10 points. That's Steele, Dignadice, and Samboy Lim, plus Reyes contributing 8, Calma 6, and Kaidik 6. So the local support has been a lot more for the Northern Consolidated squad.
There is no doubt, however, that so far the NCCs have been in control of this game. It's not a very solid control, certainly not a firm control, but it is some measure of control over the ball game.
Well, this 5 to 10 minute break certainly helps the players improve on their win. A lot of them playing on the court for quite a long time now must have been really pooped out at that point.
Well, on the other hand, it could also work against them. If this lull lasts much longer, the players just might cool down.
That's very true also, you know. Natutuyuan ng pawis.
Oh,
they say.
All right, 10 minutes and 23 seconds of action ahead of us in this first of 2 playoff games to determine the second outright semifinalist, the team that will join Manila Beer in the luxury of simply watching the quarterfinals fought to the bitter end by the 4 surviving teams.
Yes, remember the winner has to play Magnolia for the right to meet to join. So Magnolia now watching very intently, trying to go over the plays of both of these squads. I wonder if Norman Black is around. He might be.
It's very probable Norman Black doesn't miss a chance to scout the opposition.
We see, of course, the team manager, Henry Cuanco of the Northern Consolidated squad. His son, Enrique Jr., certainly around, and also team manager, Adolf Ferrer. There we see Henry together with Coach Ron Jacobs.
And right now, what was an initial reaction of animosity by the crowd has turned out to be one of amusement. Well, this is a highly volatile crowd. It's also typical of the Filipino temperament. They really are not violent. They just are very expressive. And they can also switch from one mood to the other with a drop of a hat. First, there was animosity and hostility as a reaction to that call. And now they're all enjoying the proceedings.
First there's war, now there's peace.
That's right.
And love.
A few more seconds for the mop men to finish their job on the floor. But you know, this is not really a very healthy practice, throwing coins. And in case you happen to be one of the regular habituaries here at the do well to remember that even if you are rooting for a team, it is never a good reaction to throw things on the floor because you might hit your own players.
That's true. Or you might hit a relative who's watching downstairs.
That's right. Worse, you might hit us. And that's exactly a prospect we don't exactly relish, eh, Dr. J?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, the Northerners, a lot of them very wisely putting on their jackets during the lull to keep them warm, and the Ginebras are ready to play. 3 team fouls for NCC against 1 for Ginebra. The hostilities will resume with Jeffrey Moore taking the 2 charities because that foul was called in the act of shooting. The highly controversial call against Sonny Jaworski.
It's a good thing it happened at this point, Joe, because if it had happened at a crucial point, let's say the last minute or 2, wherein it could decide the game, you know, that could spell trouble. But at this point, both of the teams can still go on and play the regular game. Ginebra can still come back, and Northern can also play their game.
That's exactly true, Dr. J. Hector Calma, for one, has certainly enjoyed that break. He looks fresh as a daisy now.
Well, Ginebra was ready to play, and Sonny was complaining why the Northern Consolidated squad doesn't want to get onto the court, you know.
That's right. I'm wondering myself, and there's Narciso Bernardo having a conference with Ron Jacobs.
Well, what they should just do is just sound the buzzer, you know. So they want to come in, they want to come in. They don't want to come in, it's up to them.
Then the officials will be well within their rights to declare the game in favor of Ginebra San Miguel. And incidentally, for the benefit of the thousands of viewers watching us right now, this very exciting contest will be replayed tomorrow starting at 11 o'clock in the morning here on NBS 4. What I'd give for a shot of Andy Player's Special Whiskey, the only whiskey to be honored by the Gold Medal for Excellence at the recently concluded International Expo for Liquors in Madrid, Spain. Sonny Jaworski now taking advantage of the lull to give some instructions to his teammates. Arnie Twadla is looking a little bit forlorn there. Arnie has been playing magnificent basketball tonight. He scored 8 points, but more than his point mileage, he also has helped the team a lot in terms of assists and the screens. And he also is very defensive-minded tonight.
That's right. Okay, Northern is ready to play, so Ginebra has to get onto the court. We will start off with 10 minutes and 23 seconds left in the 4th quarter. There's the buzzer.
All right, now it looks like it's Ginebra's turn to stage some kind of a sit-down strike. Wow, this is a Psy war. No quarters given, no quarters taken. Sonny Jaworski probably figured you kept us waiting. Now you wait.
They're ready to go back to the court. This is a professional league, remember.
It is a professional league. Which goes to show you all's fair in love and war and the PBA, if you can get away with it. All right, the score stands at 76-71. Jeffrey Moore. He's dry as a tinderbox right now after that 15-minute rest.
Making the first free throw for a total of 25 points right now. He's been scoring very well here in the second half after only being held down to only 10 in the first half.
One of his most explosive games in the 3rd conference, Jeffrey Moore.
Remember the last time they played, he had 40.
Oh, yes. Let's not forget that. This guy is really a prolific workhorse. Now they're up by 7, 78-71, 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Jaworski shovels a pass to Michael Hackett, who's quickly picked up by his counterparts. That's the Jolly Green Giant, Dennis Still. Now a double team is working on Michael Hackett. He's looking around for somebody to receive it. Jaworski.
Left alone in the three-point.
That's his second birdie tonight.
Yes, and they were made in the second half after he got that injury.
I guess you're beginning to love that word birdie by now, Dr. J, after you got into golf. Huh?
I need a lot more.
Oh, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored a hole-in-one one of these days. 9:44 remaining in the ball game. Head Calma to Jeffrey Moore. Quickly, Ricky Relosa is on top of him, along with Francis Hernandez. He puts it up. Defensive jam by Ricky Relosa, but it's only half successful.
Yes, and Hackett and Saldana already had control of the ball, but 2 guys, teammates, fighting for the ball. Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock for Northern Consolidated.
78-74, 4-point advantage for NCC.
Down to 3 seconds.
Samboy Lim has Sonny J isolated.
He doesn't know it. And if that shot had counted, if that shot had gone in, it would have been counted.
crowd, the 10,000 crowd here, breathless for a good 2.5 seconds as it became very fickle, rimming around, and then finally deciding to fall out. 9:15 to go in the ball game. 4-point lead for NCC. Here's Michael Hackett. He goes to Francis. Nonchalantly, he puts it up. Bullseye.
And that shot Francis loves.
10 points now for Super Francis. And we're back to a 2-point game. Samboy Lim in a mid-air collision with Francis. And that foul readily acknowledged by Francis.
Well, he was apologizing to Steele, but it was Lim who really took the brunt of the foul as he slid on to the court. Take a look at this.
Yes, Dennis Steele said, I forgive you. Well, what about me, said Samboy.
Yes, because the foul was on Samboy, then he banged into his own teammate who banged against Steele.
Samboy Lim, number 9. Easily one of the most celebrated, if not the most celebrated amateur in our neck of the woods.
11 points now for Lim. 12. 4-point lead for the Northern Consolidated squad. 9 minutes left in this ball game.
That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us. Jaworski against Samboy Lim. Ricky Relosa belling up on Jeffrey Moore. Now makes his move off Jeffrey, the baseline drive. He misses. Michael Hackett in a held ball with Jeffrey.
Well, Ricky already had the layup there because Moore wasn't going to commit his 5th foul. He gave him the bank shot, but Ricky a little bit too hard on his bank shot.
How Jeffrey Moore has been able to stay away from his 5th foul is a tremendous testimony to the presence of mind of this young man. Relosa.
Can't get it from the inside, took it from the outside.
The farther out he goes, the better his shooting becomes. Back to a 2-point game, 80-78. Time left, 8.5 minutes. Heck Calma against Francis. Jeffrey Moore is amply covered by Ricky Relosa. Calma takes matters into his own hands, succeeding famously.
Well, that should make Francis come out a little bit to him and let Jeff Moore be able to operate one-on-one downstairs.
Right. In the meantime, the amateurs are up by 4 points anew. Terry Saldana goes back to the Big J. Injured lip and all. The Big J is still playing. Oh! Samboy Lim with a kick.
That's right. So the shot clock will be reset to 25 seconds.
8 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the ball game. 82-78. Once again, the rug-em-up man is summoned to the floor to do his thing. And we want to make sure there are no costly slides or slips on the part of any players. 3 team fouls for NCC against only 2 for Ginebra San Miguel. The crowd is really swollen. Even at halftime, the people were still coming in.
Yes.
Here's Michael Hackett. He goes to Francis. There goes the balloon shot again.
Over Dennis Steele, huh?
Over Dennis Steele at that. Francis with 2 scintillating outside rifle shots. Just narrowed the game once again to a 2-point affair as Jeffrey Moore retaliates for NCC. That's his 28th marker for tonight.
Well, he has the ability to stay up in the air and take that fadeaway jump shot of his.
A man with a levitation prowess. Saldana, right down the middle. At point-blank range, he squandered the opportunity, and here's Jeffrey Moore struggling might and main against the Big J and Michael Hackett. Here's Samuel Lin coming strong from the right side. Jaworski for the defensive rebound. Here's Hackett. He figures to take on... Oh, here's Francis.
Good pass there by Michael Hackett. This time he did the right thing, and he got a good assist for himself plus a foul.
For a moment, I thought Michael was going to take on Dennis Steele and Hector Calma one-on-one or one-on-two.
If he had done that, he would have probably been called for the charging foul.
That's right.
This was a very good move on his part. He drew the other player to him and gave it to the streaking Francis or Nice.
And Francis, his hand is burning. You can feel the heat from here. They're down by just 2 points, and Francis has it within his hands to cut it down to just a single point.
He does. He has scored 7 points in the last 2 minutes for the team.
And the team foul picture shows an adverse scenario here for the NCCs. They already have 4 against only 2 for Ginebra. 7 minutes to go.
That's a good shot by Dignadici, a clutch shot.
Tremendous outside sniping by the NCCs are keeping their head above water in the face of this blitzing rally being mounted by Ginebra San Miguel.
That's how strong this team is, you know. When you check some of the better players, better known players, then the other guys that are usually the reserves come up and really help the team with outside shots like Dignadici just did.
So how do you beat a team like that, short of using brass knuckles?
Well, play defense against everybody on the team, honestly.
Here's Terry Saldana.
If it counts.
After another long uphill climb, has another golden opportunity to level the count. But even worse than that, we have the 5th foul called on Ivis Dignatise, so he will have to be relieved. Elmer Reyes is going to be it.
Well, the guy with a good outside shot now getting his 5th foul has to rest for a while. Dignatise, but he'll be back.
It's a pity because he just found his shooting arm from the outside.
That's right, Joe. Saldana now with 10 points in the ball game, trying to go for his 11 and the equalizer.
Yes.
This ball is fickle tonight, huh?
Talk of loaded dice. Do we have loaded balls?
Yahoo!
86 all is a count. Only the 5th deadlock of the game. Reyes. He goes to Calma in the right quarter court. The Ginebras now really tightening up on defense. Jeffrey Moore can't shake off Ricky De Losa. Inside the paint. Moore with a fadeaway. Good pass by Michael Hackett to Sonny Jaworski. And the Big J goes galloping down court. Past Elmer Reyes. Over Jeffrey Moore. Listen to the din of the crowd. I can hardly hear myself as we watch that last piece of action in slow-mo. The Big J in an off-balance position, scoring the 2 points, and now getting a 3-point opportunity in his hands. A chance for Ginebra to erect a 3-point lead.
That's right. That's what you call experience. He heard the call, forced up a very poor shot, but made it. Now has a chance for a 3-point play, and he does.
I don't know if it's Michael Hackett's coins that's turning Lady Luck in their favor now, but whatever it is, they're up by 3, 89-86. Here's Calma. The embattled NCCs need a basket in a hurry. Jeffrey Moore, rather Denny still trying to set up a pick there. Here's Jeffrey. He goes up against it. Ricky De Losa. But they just threw it away.
And they were a little bit too impatient. They tried to go on a fast break. We have another timeout called by Northern Consolidated.
For a shade under 6 minutes left in this ball game. That's a 3-point lead posted on the scoreboard for Ginebra San Miguel, 89-86. And I must say, this is one game a sports commentator really loves to cover, even though it drives us hoarse, eh, Dr. J?
Yes, you know, there are so many instances here where you don't even have to say a word. You know, the crowd tells you what's happening on the court with their big roar, you know. And you can feel it if you're watching and you're partisan to one team.
The atmosphere is indeed electric here at the Ultra. Here is Samuel Lim. Sonny Jaworski is on him. And Sonny's destructive tactics almost succeeded. Calma saves it from going out of the floor. But he has to contend with Francis Arnaiz. Here's Samuel Lim. He goes back to Hector. Yes.
Francis knows that he can't leave Hector Calma alone because Calma has done that twice against him as he tries to help out.
So we're back to a 1-point game. Sonny Jaworski bringing the ball down court himself.
That was a crucial basket for NCC.
Definitely. Here's Sonny in the 3-point region. And Samboy Lim knows only too well he can take it from there, and that's why he's really tightening up. Okay, Jaworski makes his move right down the middle. A scoop shot.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Big play again. Big play.
Sonny Jaworski has not lost anything in the more than 15 years that he's been running up and down that basketball court. Here's Elmer Reyes, the baseline drive. In vain. Still with the offensive rebound. Sonny Jaworski right there. Elmer Reyes.
3-second violation called against Dennis Steele.
Well, Dr. J, I guess you'll agree with me. That was defense with a capital D.
Sonny seems to be hurt again, this time hurting from the hip.
He looks like a disaster area already.
There's going to be a technical foul called against Steele, called by referee Ledesma. I think he was still complaining. And a technical foul now being called against Dennis Steele.
Moral of the story, stop complaining. Let's play good basketball. That could be a very costly technical foul. And Elmer Reyes is trying to placate his own teammate. We can't win ball games this way, fella.
That's right. 30 points now for Michael Hackett. He's been kept quiet. 31 points.
Well, nobody's going to fault Michael Hackett for his performance tonight, even if he doesn't come close to his 76-point performance. He's been doing a lot of other things in other departments. There he goes at low post quickly to Francis, and Francis sees the bridge. He goes up and misses. by the skin of his teeth. And Jeffrey Moore pulls down the defensive rebound. Lightning speed by Heckalma. Another defensive gem by Ricky Relosa.
That's right.
He's all over the place. 92-88. Francis puts it up. He's open.
Well, there was already a foul called against Slim earlier as he reached in against Sonny Jaworski.
And look at this, Dr. J. The shoe is on the other foot. In the third quarter, he never hit team foul trouble early, but now it's NCC, which just hit team foul trouble. And worse than that, it's the 5th personal for Samboy Lim. That means he's on the verge of disqualification. So Alan Kaiteke is forced to come into his place.
6-point lead for Ginebra, 4 minutes and 11 seconds. 4-point lead, 4 minutes and 11 seconds left.
92-88 is exact tally. Jaworski, he misses, and the ball falls right to the hands of Jeffrey Moore. Another fast break in the works here for the red shirts of NCC. Francis with a very timely nudge on Elmer Reyes thwarted that fast break. Alan Kaiteke against a double team. They left Hector open again. Yes.
Alma.
12 points now for the little guy.
6 points in this quarter, all from outside shots.
And very pivotal shots at that.
Yes, every time the other team threatens, he comes in with the 2 points, the crucial 2 points.
And might as well call him the one-man fire department of NCC.
That's right.
Another beautiful assist by Michael Hackett to Sonny Jaworski. That's 15 points for the Big J. And that's the umpteenth assist for Michael Hackett tonight. Back to a 4-point lead for Ginebra San Miguel. Time left, 3 minutes and 11 seconds in the ball game. Alan Kaiteke, the left-handed shot. Way off mark. Jeffrey Moore. Dennis Still finally made it on the third try.
And we have 2 guys down on the court, Michael Hackett and Ricky Relosa.
The intensity of this basketball game is going to cost a lot in terms of broken bones, sprained ankles, and things of that sort. 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go. Ginebra San Miguel wearing proudly the colors of La Tonteña Incorporada, a virtual landmark in the Philippine economic landscape. And we have a timeout. We'll show return. 2 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in this ball game. May we just remind you that on Thursday, the winner in tonight's match between Ginebra and NCC will be going up against the Magnolia Thirst Quenchers at 7:30 p.m. on a slightly delayed basis. That particular match will determine who will finally join Manila Beer in the semi-final round on an outright basis.
Well, certainly an advantage for Magnolia because they're well rested, while these 2 are really slugging it out like there's no tomorrow.
That's right.
Really a slugfest.
It's like putting Michael Spinks in a 15-round contest with Larry Holmes and then setting him up for a match on the same night with Greg Page. 94-92, 2-point lead for Ginebra, 2:45 remaining in the ball game. Michael Hackett, he's been assisting magnificently tonight. There is Aldana. The door slammed on his face by Alan Kaiteke.
Only 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
Saldana puts up a desperate shot, and here's Heckalma once again scampering down court. Saldana tried a preemptive foul there. It was a let-go situation. Here is Elmer Reyes. Alan Kaiteke with a pump fake draws a swarm of defenders in the person of one man.
Ricky Relosa.
This guy can really swarm all over the place. And look at him discarding the shot of Alan Kaiteke, but they keep it alive.
And there we have the equalizer, 94 all.
A lot of sound and fury at the Ultra tonight. 94 all. The pivotal end game, the score deadlock at 94 all, a minute and 49 to go, and foul is called on the Jolly Green Giant. That's his 3rd personal.
What you can see definitely Ginebra's trying to do is to try to capitalize on the penalty situation of Northern. They set up Michael Hackett with a screen coming from the weak side there. He goes now to the strong side, Sonny feeding in. He gets the step ahead of Dennis Steele. Dennis gives up the foul instead of the easy 2 points.
You know, that's a very big millstone around the neck of NCC, having hit team foul trouble very early in this 4th quarter.
You're right. Well, there are only 2 for Ginebra San Miguel, and none of their players are really in foul trouble, so they can give up fouls if they have a good lead for themselves.
Exactly. And Michael Hackett has been performing flawlessly from the 15-foot line tonight.
He has only missed 1 tonight so far.
That's right.
And in this is a very crucial one. This is his 2nd.
It always happens, Dr. J. Every time we praise a player's foul shooting ability, he makes us eat our words.
But that's a very crucial miss, you know. 2-point lead is always very important at this point. Makes the 2nd one for a split. 1-point lead for Ginebra San Miguel. Anybody's ball game.
Anybody's ball game indeed. And here's Hectalma against Francis Arnaiz. There have been very few substitutions on the Ginebra side. Foul, Francis. That's a foul he can afford to give up.
Well, he gave it up. That's his fourth personal foul. He can't afford to give it up. Too many at this point because he's a very vital cog here to this team.
That's absolutely correct. He's been responsible for 15 of Ginebra's points. And Ron Jacobs wants a timeout. We shall return.
Point plays we play. You rotate on the defense and do things right. Make a jump shot. All right, let's go to work.
The guy who wrote the book on basketball coaching, that's Ron Jacobs with his boys. They're down by a single point with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go.
He himself really taught a lot here to the Filipino public. I mean, I'm sure he has given clinics, and the people that he has developed certainly has shown us the capabilities of himself as a coach. Like Ricky Relosa used to play under him, you know, the national team. So he has taught a lot of guys a lot of things, you know, develop their abilities and improve their talents.
That's right. Ron Jacobs created a virtual Frankenstein's monster in Ricky Relosa.
That's right.
Now he's swatting balls away like nobody's business.
Ricky's very, very tough now, very tough on defense. Imagine he had to go the whole night, practically the whole night against Jeffrey Moore. And Moore really hasn't scored that many points up to this. Not the 40 that he got the other night against Ginebra San Miguel.
And he's been held down to only 6 points in this fourth quarter. Hectalma goes to Jeffrey. Elmer Reyes against Terry Saldana. Very good defensive rotation by Ginebra San Miguel. They nearly threw the ball away. Hectalma, ever adroit. Oh, I spoke too soon. And look at the Big J diving for that ball suicidally. Overhead to Reyes. Here he is.
Yes, sir. Good break there for Northern. There was an easy 2 points already if Sonny could have caught the ball. Now it's Northern up by 1.
They're back in the driver's seat, all right, with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go. 96-95. And Sonny Jaworski wants to regroup. We can't do this trying to match their running game. Let's settle down to a half-court offense. He seems to be telling his boys. Ricky Relosa against Elmer Reyes. Now makes his move. Draws a double team. Looks for a receiver. Arnaiz is open. He jumps. And misses.
There's Hackett.
Well, we have H fever in November. Right now, we have H fever in October by the name of Michael Hackett. We'll be back. With only 43 seconds remaining in the ball game, there's Michael Hackett with a tete-a-tete with Sonny Jaworski. They're ahead by 1 point, but NCC will be inbounding. So why don't we listen in and find out what the Big J is telling his crew.
Don't wait for the fake. You grab him so the ball is brought out. Okay? Para gana. Now, Ricky, kumagaya si Moore. Napwesto ng malapit-lapit. Huwag mo lang hintayin ma-out position ka. Grab na agad. Pag may bola. Oh, pag may bola. So bring the bola. Huwag siya of shooting. Don't let them attempt. Close or whatever. Sayang, baka ma-shoot back. Because they're in a good position to shoot. Better foul them already. Okay. So the idea here is no double teaming, but not unless it is obvious that you can take it. Okay. Francis, watch out, huh? Okay? And then take care of the ball. Very hardly help. Pare, when we go down. Okay, okay, sir. Francis, you stay down. You stay here, blue. Okay, you stay blue. I will call 11. Simple. You go here, not opposite. You go when Michael is you go here. I will pass it down to Michael. Michael cut this way. This guy cut. Open up, huh? Here. You cut this way. This will open up. Coach, time na, coach. Okay, come on. Okay, let's go.
Well, Sonny J lingering a bit longer with his voice. Let's not forget, they have the luxury of being able to give up 4 more fouls before they hit team foul trouble, and that's something they will have to exploit to the hilt right now.
Which they probably would if they try to go to Jeff Moore. Of course, Ron Jacobs is a master at setting up plays, so let's see what play he sets up for the team at this point. They need the 2 points. They need a point at least.
40 seconds and counting down. Francis is on Calma. Alan Kaidik. 1 seconds to go.
Well, they cannot switch the ball yet. They still have to go for the play.
They have to convert. Alan Kaidik is on Sonny Jaworski. NCC cannot afford to foul. They have to play good defense. Here is the Big J with a baseline drive.
Oh, yes, he's got it now.
What a familiar role for the Big J.